Yep, got me again. What's good, folks? This is SilentMode, maker, artist, and LEGO enthusiast once again. Thank you for joining me at relatively short notice. And if I haven't said it to you already, I hope you guys will have a happy new year for 2026. I couldn't wait to see the back of 2025. Let's hope that this year is all that it's supposedly cracked up to be. Shout out to Owen's Brick Studio and Roaming Bricks in the chat. Thank you for joining me. Hope you guys are doing all right. And it's Roaming Bricks, excellent job with the segment in the brick crawl. I definitely appreciated it. So as you may have, hello Alexandria. Happy New Year to you as well. So as is suggested in the thumbnail, I'm going to be building my very first Rebrickable model, and this is the Ferrari Testarossa from a designer called TLG. And as you may have guessed, this is going to be a black version, just because I fancied having a black version. Shout out to Kirkim Brick Builds as well in the chats, and Lone Wolf Bricks. Thank you for joining me again. This is a premium model on Rebrickable. It cost me €4.65. If you like the model, and hopefully I'll be able to get through it in just one live stream, make sure you support the designer by purchasing the instructions. Really appreciate you guys being here. Let's see how things go. Now, I wanted to build a Ferrari Testarossa, and I think it's criminal that LEGO hasn't released their own version, because I was a fan of video games growing up, and you might recognize the Ferrari Testarossa from the classic arcade game Outrun. I also had a Matchbox vehicle when I was younger, and it was a color changing Ferrari Testarossa. So I remember it changed from red to orange to yellow based on heats. And I quite liked that as a kid. I don't know where it is, though. I don't know if I still have it. Yes, Happy New Year to everybody. I haven't said Happy New Year to so far. And of course, you don't have to, but it would be really nice if you guys support the video, the stream, whatever you want to call it, if you like what you see here. So I do know that LEGO had released a Speed Champions Ferrari, but as far as I know, they haven't released a Ferrari Testarossa. So thankfully somebody, well, quite a few people actually on Rebrickable steps in to provide one. Anyway, hope you guys are doing okay tonight, and as usual, I hope you guys are doing better than I am. I have been recovering like a mofo after the brick crawl. I was up for most of the day, almost 24 hours. Hi Demos. I was up for almost 24 hours since the morning of the 31st, and yesterday, most of yesterday was spent trying to get as much sleep as I could. I did, however, manage to get out of the flats for a limited time, and I can still use some more sleep, but I am more or less recovered now. And yes, as Owen has suggested, this is going to be a car specifically for this character right here. This is the Vehicle Aficionado, and it should be able to fit that figure and somebody else of his choice once it's done. Now normally I would show the instructions or something on the screen, but because this is a premium model, I don't want to take money out of anybody's mouth or hands, wherever they put the money. So again, if you like what you see, I recommend purchasing the instructions yourself. Of course, you will have to source the parts yourself, and there should be a link to the specific model in the description of this video. keeping an eye on the chats. All right. Yeah, I think that's how it goes. This is my first time building this, by the way, but I do have all the parts here. They actually, the parts I had to buy actually came in earlier today, which was very fortunate. Yeah, for everybody who's still catching up, who still wants to catch up with sleep, definitely do that, man. Definitely do that. Because not having enough sleep is absolutely no fun. Okay, that goes here. But yeah, the brick crawl was, I guess, as for most of you, was an opportunity to see some people for the first time. It was certainly my first time seeing a Kerr Kim minus the Kerr live stream. First time seeing Brick Together, Roaming Bricks, a whole bunch of other people. And that is one of the best things about the brick crawl. It's a nice social event. And yeah, I've heard that there's going to be plans for another one at least on what I call V-Day. It's going to be interesting, I think, seeing how that turns out, if there's going to be a particular theme behind it. I'll tell you what, though, it was also nice being a spectator as well, as opposed to being behind the camera. Yeah, I remember that Lovebird set that I just happened to catch a glimpse of when I was looking at the Lego, the Lego website store. That would be a particularly good one. Just a random idea that I came up with just now. It would be great to have multiple streamers building that set at the same time. I was actually at the Lego store, or one of the Lego stores yesterday, in between not having had that much sleep, and I didn't buy anything. I was mainly just there to see what was on the wall, and it was quite busy, as you can imagine. Okay, I seem to have messed up here. I was meant to have some corner snot bricks, and I don't seem to have them. That's on me, if that's the case. I'm not sure why, but this usually happens, because I made my own list of parts, and for some reason I don't seem to have the correct ones here. If you give me just a second, I'll go and see if I have some spares. Okay. Man, I messed up. Alright, so I guess the problem was that I have these bricks here, which is the 1x1 with studs on 4 sides. I'm not sure how I managed to end up with these, but I needed the newer corner ones. Let me just check my list again. It's not this one actually. Oh well, gotta improvise. Gotta improvise somehow. Okay, let's see what we can do. I'm just going to check first and foremost that I didn't get things wrong. Yeah, it did say studs on 2 sides adjacent, and yeah, for some reason I have the ones with all 4 studs. I don't know if I can still use this one. Let's see. I guess that's that's a lesson for everybody. Double check your inventory before getting on a live stream and saying you're going to build a model. And he says that after dropping something on the floor. Oh yes, I wanted to make sure I had the ducks in the background. I haven't been ignoring that comment. I quite like them at that size actually, but they are intended to go inside the vending machine. Once I get around to implementing Never Too Old's idea. One day I'm going to be far more organized. Just have to get something from under the table. Okay. Yeah, I guess I was fortunate that, in all honesty, there was nothing that I wanted or had to buy from LEGO. I did see the Speed Champions DeLorean set that people were raving about, and I'm not in a rush to get one of those, but it would be nice to have one. They also had the Lightning McQueen car sets. Okay, let's see if I can use these instead. Not quite, unfortunately. That stud gets in the way. Okay, fun question, guys. Do you think I should cut that stud off to make it fit? I think that would be a bit too extreme. Okay, give me just a second. might have found one. Do I have a spare container? Let's use this. Okay, there's one. I don't think there's another one. I think I'd be very lucky to find one. Oh, I do have another one. Excellent. Alright, crisis averted, although I probably lost a few hundred viewers by now. It happens. Just get this out of the way. Okay, so this was the brick I was meant to have with studs on two adjacent sides. There we go. Actually, let me put on some music if I can. I'm gonna play some nice Christmas music. Go. The build continues, thankfully. I'm not sure about some of these building techniques, but we'll go with it. So that's those two. So as I mentioned elsewhere, I can't remember where, I haven't bought much or anything in the way of Lego, but I have been buying a few things on AliExpress. I guess that's my new addiction now. So mostly electronic components for upcoming projects, a few other interesting alternative brand items as well. And hopefully they will arrive in good time. I may actually do I don't know if I should do a stream or a shorts or something showing what I have purchased. I actually did get an actual Lego item, but I don't know if I should show you guys. It's part of an ambitious project that I want to do this year. I don't know if I should spoil the surprise. Okay. But yeah, going back to the idea for the V-Day or Valentine's Day brick crawl, if it takes place, I think it's going to be an interesting idea, both from the perspective of people who really like Valentine's Day and people who are not such big fans of Valentine's Day. I think that's It's certainly an interesting angle, I think. Hello there, Mayo. No relevancy is currency. Good to see you, man. Had some technical difficulties as usual, but thanks for joining in. Yeah, that's the base. Fortunately, I had a couple of these vehicle bases to hand from previous projects, and it's a little, well, you've got a couple of fiddly parts here, but it's all right. Now I do have to bear in mind that some of these parts are color swapped. So here is meant to be a trans orange plate. I went with trans brown. And I just have to remember I've done that. Hopefully I've gotten the right substitutions. No problem, Kirkim. Thank you for stopping by. And I hope you have a good time at work. Okay, it's actually trans black. That's part of the front, and it goes on this side. There we go. And I guess we're going to do the same thing on the other side, except in reverse. Hello, it's not Little Lego anymore, it's Little L Bricks. How are you doing, sir? Yes, it was discovered during the brick crawl that the artist known as Little L now, he's on the way to becoming a LEGO ambassador. Hence the name change, I'm guessing. Okay. But yeah, Little L, I have to get used to calling you that now. I think you would be an amazing participant for the upcoming V-Day brick crawl. I would have liked to have seen you in the last one, but I think this would be a great opportunity. Uh-oh. Oh no. Oh, thank goodness for that. I thought I had one of these missing. Okay. Well, I know you as Little Lego. Okay. This is a bit confusing, this step. Welcome back, Owen. So I guess the New Year's bringing quite a few changes. Mayor's changing his slogan. Little L, or Little Lego, is becoming an ambassador. Looks like we're getting off to a good start already. If only I'd been a lot more prepared for this thing. This, I was wondering if I was going wrong with this step, but the instructions do have these two parts like this, and you have to join them using, not this one, these slopes. I would have gone about it a different way, but that's what we have. You know, though, I have to admit that I very briefly thought about changing my name. No problem, Alexandria. No problem at all. Okay, these have to go this way. Actually, that's a lie. I didn't think about changing my name. I did think about changing my logo very, very briefly. Very briefly. Just thinking about, well, looking at some other people's logos and thinking maybe I should have something a bit more contemporary. But no. Rotate the assembly as it is shown. Okay. I think. I think that's what it's meant to look like. I don't know. I'm a little bit confused. It's not particularly stable, but let's continue. You may remember sometime from last year that I had to go at, well, I showed you guys how I build instructions for my creations, and it really is an art form, because you've got to think about how a layperson is going to put something together. What would happen if you did become an ambassador and change your name back to Little Lego? They'd probably have a word with you about that. I'm pretty sure they would. But I think as you said, though, you can't stop people calling you Little Lego, but officially you'd have to be Little L. What on earth? Okay. So I meant to take these tiles here and slot them in here like this, apparently. Like this. There's I actually don't know if it is an illegal building technique. I would certainly not do this myself. I wouldn't have used this technique for a build, but this person did, and I don't think anybody else has a problem with it. How's it going, Hoarder? Hoarder. There we go. So it might be that I have some old parts here because they just fall out of place sometimes. Yeah, I think, well, I don't know how it is. I'm nowhere close to being an ambassador in any shape or form. But I think that they'd want you to change your ways once you become an ambassador. And if you don't, then that's when they would take action. Okay, that doesn't look so bad. Still questionable technique, but it doesn't look that bad. Yeah, how well did your overnight stream do, Little L? I did catch some of it. I listened to at least a couple of your tracks. Oh wow. 1x3 and 1x4 cheese slopes. I actually don't know how I feel about that. By the way, if you guys are interested in information about parts and things, definitely check out a website called The New Elementary. It's run by a good friend of mine, Tim, and he is, I don't think he's an ambassador, but he is, or at least he was, from what I remember, quite closely affiliated with LEGO. But yeah, they usually give a breakdown of new parts in new color combinations, etc. But what did you think about the DeLorean, Hoarder, now that you've had the chance to build it? Wait a minute. What the heck? I definitely get it from a presentation standpoint that that the larger cheese slopes would be great. I put these the wrong way. That's on me. Damn, I've got to go back. Well, that's one thing I remember from the, if you remember the LEGO Ideas DeLorean, they essentially had 3 versions of the DeLorean. You could essentially change between them based on how you built it. Okay, this was This was my bad. Okay, I see Mayor Hosco is sending people DMs. I hope there's no conspiracy. But I'm joking. Okay. Now, where was I? Yeah, I'd imagine they still have the license for Back to the Future because they released a larger version of DeLorean not so long ago. Okay. There we go. Back on track. Oh yeah, by the way, Little L, don't worry about the subscribers, coming from someone who has worried about subscribers. If there's one thing I learned is that subscribers are fickle. Thinking about it, actually, just a random thought, but I suppose you got two IPs. You got Back to the Future, and then you've got DeLorean, which is the vehicle brand. All right, so I found these two printed slopes for the dashboard. I'm going to use the one on the left. So I think it's kind of resembles Knight Rider. I like the idea of having a because I'm doing a color swap of this vehicle. I like the idea of it being somewhat futuristic. But yeah, let's keep things, I don't want to say family friendly, but let's keep things civil during my live stream that hopefully people will enjoy. Yeah, IPs are a very tricky thing. And I guess one really doesn't appreciate them until it's their property that that could potentially be violated. Okay. Excellent, Mayo. Glad you were able to find it. But yeah, seriously, one of the problems I had yesterday was, apart from the Lego store, the usual places I would think of getting Lego from were closed. Naturally, it's because it was New Year's Day. and I wouldn't expect many of those places to be open. But still, it was rather inconvenient. Now, I was hoping I was going to get a discounted advent calendar or two, but I don't think places would be selling them anymore. Whoops. Whoops. Well, what I do like about this so far is that it doesn't add too many bits with each step. Some rather questionable building techniques, but that's okay. So Alexandria didn't like the advent calendars this year. Goes like that. What did you want to edit, Little L? How's it going? Never too old. Thanks for stopping by, and yes, I haven't forgotten about potentially helping links. I was just really eager about doing this because the parts came in today, and I think it's best not to let things sit for too long. Well, I only got the Friends Advent Calendar this year, and one thing I don't particularly like is how they got rid of the Father Christmas or Santa Claus figures in the sets. They used to have on day 24, for the most part, some variants of Father Christmas, and I don't think they have it anymore. I seem to be missing a corner plate in black, which shouldn't have happened, but maybe I messed up somewhere again. I can't think where though. Hey, Brick Together, thank you for stopping by. Appreciate everybody being here, even if just for a few seconds. But it seems I'm up to my old tricks because I'm missing a couple of pieces despite my best intentions. But yes, I only got the Friends calendar, Friends Advent calendar. I wanted to get a second one, but didn't decide which one to get. Just looking through my thing of things to see if I have any substitutes. Hello, John. Alright, to save time, I'm just going to use these. It's probably going to ruin the blackness, but that is my mistake. It it was definitely great meeting you guys and speaking to you guys for the first time during the brick crawl, which was only, gosh, it was only not even a couple of days ago. Okay, where is that piece? Okay. Oh, that sets that. You see, I prefer the birds rather than those letters because I could easily make the letters myself. Am I hallucinating here? No, guess I'm not. Some rather questionable building techniques here, but I have to roll with it. Hang on, let me see if I understand that. Just trying to understand what's being said. Don't know if I'm getting this right. So the Canadian LEGO website isn't shipping to people in Canada, if I understand correctly. Oh, I see. Right, so because the I guess because the items for the Canadian LEGO sites aren't being shipped out of Canada. What on earth is going on here? I'm guessing this is how it's meant to be, but it doesn't make sense. This particular building technique doesn't make any sense at all. Let's continue. Yeah, I guess little L, what you could probably do is download the live stream and then well, you may be able to edit it in YouTube itself if you use the website. So you can take off the beginning parts. I don't know. But another possibility is re-uploading it as an edited video. Just thinking randomly. Yeah, this particular building technique, this is really confusing. I don't like it at all. It's using the minifigure neck brackets. But it's not a particularly stable connection. And I've got to do it on this side as well. Now I'll restart the music. Okay. Hello, JDP. How you doing, JDP? Messed this up. It's meant to go the other way. That's okay. Hang on, give me a second. There we go. All right. Let's see how far we get. I'm hoping this thing doesn't fall apart on me. That would be quite bad. How's it going, Britain Bricks? And yes, this is my first taste of Rebrickable. Right now, it's actually a pretty good example of why I insist on designing my own stuff. But as I've said before, other people don't seem to have a problem with it, so I'm just rolling with it right now. Since when did people start saying hype about everything? Maybe I'm getting old and I missed it. See you later, Mayo. Go enjoy those darts. It was very nice to have you here. Got a one stud connection for this seat, which is really gonna be pleasant, I can see. missed a piece there. I see. Well, that's one. I've heard that's one of the signs, one of the major signs of success is when people basically develop their own language as part of a, for lack of a better word, community. Go. I guess the point of some of these building techniques is that it's meant to represent more accurately the car rather than something actually stable. Okay, what did JDP do for MC, aka Lego Therapy? I must have missed it. Okay, it's nice how the shape interacts with that plate there. That's interesting. I see. That's a very nice gesture from JDP. WJDP, as the kids say. Does that go there? Yep. All right. Sounds as if there's good news all round. Lil Lel is getting his Lightning McQueen. I've ordered a bunch of stuff on AliExpress, discounted of course. Just seems to be good news all around. Now, okay, this is a waste. Got this perfectly nice tile here, and he decided to stick 2 of these on top of it. Why not just use a regular 2x2 plates? There's not long to go for the time machine. Okay, will I host an Ninjago Dragon stream? I could do the hosting, sure. I don't have any Ninjago or Dragon sets though, so I guess I'm just gonna be the silent host. But that's all good. That's a good question, Hillel. I don't know. My immediate thought was that perhaps they have both items in different places, but then we're not supposed to know that. I've never had that situation. Was I supposed to use a black one or a medium stone grey one? Sorry, dark stone grey. Probably a dark stone grey one. Yeah, I have to start working again as well. I'm actually glad to say that because I'll have money coming in. But I'll tell you what, going back to work after so long out of work is it's a struggle, I will say. It's this does look good, but I will say there are some very questionable building techniques in here. I just hope that it all holds, because it's no good to man or beast if it doesn't. But yeah, I had to decide between two Ferrari Testarossa models on Rebrickable, and I decided on this one in the end because although the other one was less expensive, this one had fewer parts. Yeah, this is on Rebrickable, and the link should be in the description of this live stream. I've not heard of the movie The Number 23. Kind of sounds like a horror movie. Yeah, watch out on the roads, man. I think we've had some ice over here. But it's certainly been very cold. So yeah, watch yourselves. I think this is how. Nope. Okay. Thought I was going nuts. Yeah, I'm gonna stay away from that movie, Never Too Old. I don't need my mind twisted any more than it is. Okay. Okay, that's not... Okay, suspense I can just about deal with. There shouldn't be that much longer to go. I think it's somewhat ironic that there's been mention of black ice and I'm building a black vehicle. Technically this should be immune to black ice then. Here's an interesting technique. It's using these edges of the skates as studs. I don't know if that actually is a thing, but yeah, I don't know if that's actually a valid building technique. Hello, Clicking Cliff. How are you doing, sir? Okay. Little else says it is. Doesn't seem to be working for me though, unless I've done something wrong. And these should be the right way around. I don't know if it's something I'm doing. Okay, well, it's kind of in. Yep, there we go. Yeah, I literally didn't think about it until now, but they do basically look like half studs. I actually have no problem with it being cold at the moment because we had goodness knows how many days of heat last year, and I don't like the heat. I don't like seeing people or other people out in the heat. And in my opinion, when we have the heat, we should also have the cold. Hello, Kathamiley. I know it's Kathy Miley, but I'm just used to Siri saying your name. Okay, I'm not sure if I got this right. If I'm meant to just slide these in here. Doesn't seem right to me, but we will see. It's meant to be the other way, I guess. Connect the red plate to the extension of roller skate. Use a what? Oh yeah, Britain Brick showed off his workplace during the brick crawl. Doesn't look like a bad place to work at all, apart from the weather perhaps. Yeah, very questionable building technique here, but that's what they went with. So basically this thing here attaches to the other side of the skates. Fair enough. Let's continue. I'm going to use the black binoculars instead of the dark stone grey ones. This is a premium model, so you have to buy the instructions, and of course you have to source the parts yourself. So if you like what you see here, support the designer on Rebrickable. I think it definitely helps to have good quality parts though, because I think this relies too heavily on single stud connections. Okay, definitely taking shape. Now this step I'm being warned there's no stud connection, which I think is really bad, but that's what they went with. Wasn't being condescending at all. I was just very conscious of not revealing too much of how this, or try not to reveal too much of how this is made. There was actually a Batmobile-esque vehicle on AliExpress that it looked quite interesting, but I resisted because I don't really need it. Oops, careful. Okay, important bit here. The instructions will call for a very specific windscreen. One that only appeared literally in one set, and it's still quite affordable. But I got this one. This actually was a printed piece, and I got it in trans black, the newer trans black color. This was a printed piece. This actually doesn't exist in this color without the prints, but I removed the prints using Brasso earlier today. Just for information. Okay, I think this is the point where we add the wheels. Yes, it does remind me of kits, and I actually built another designer's version of kits quite a while ago. It's actually in pieces, unfortunately, because it's not the most stable of models. Well, this is one of the most important parts of the Testarossa. It's definitely one of the defining features. I'd say the back bit here as well is also a defining feature. There we go. These spokes are specific to the Ferrari, the official Ferrari vehicle as well. Well, I did say in, I think it was JDP's stream, that we're long overdue a kit, an official kit. Now this actually uses regular Technic pins. I mean, they had the LEGO Dimensions kit, so I don't think there's any reason why they shouldn't have a Speed Champions kit. So I'd be all over that one. So, just looking for some Technic pins. Now, I know I have some Technic pins around here. Alright, give me a second. I'm gonna have a very quick look. Yeah, going back to the whole thing about IPs, I guess one of the difficulties is that you've got to get permission for the vehicle, the franchise, and also the likeness of the driver. Yeah, the A-Team van as well. I'll go for that. There we go. stickers, and that is it. Why have these other bits? I have no idea. But yeah, this is the Ferrari Testarossa. Is there meant to be a gap here? Yeah, there's meant to be a gap there, I guess. But that is it. Alright, let's see how well this accepts a minifigure. Okay, we were warned with this that you have to be careful which hair pieces you have with the minifigures. This woman's hair is a little bit too tall. Just about fits. Here you go. All right. I'll see you soon, JDP. But this is TLG's Ferrari Testarossa, and I think it definitely has a nice shape to it. It is not the most stable of builds, but then it's okay. I think it holds up quite well. It is not bad at all, not bad looking. So yeah, I think I'll keep this one in the collection. I'm not brave enough to make any modifications just yet, but yeah, I think it looks good. And I think one of the best features is that it does fit 2 minifigures, although you do have to be careful not to have too tall a hairpiece. It does say in the instructions. No, I'm not going to crash it. I won't be able to find the bits. But with that is going to be the end of this live stream, and I want to thank you guys for joining in as usual. It's been a pleasure having you guys talk to each other as well, but most importantly, thank you guys for playing along. And until next time, this has been SilentMode, maker, artist, and LEGO enthusiasts. As always, encouraging you all to do your thing. Go check out JDP's live stream starting shortly.